Yes, it's that time of year again where everyone is making their top lists for the year, and here I am with mine. Just a wee note, not everything on this list is from 2021, but I watched it this year, so it counts. Because I said so. Before we get started, be sure to let me know what your favourite Woman Love Woman films and TV shows for this year were in the comments below. Vigil, or Vigilant, as it seems the title changed according to IMDb, is a fantastic limited series with none other than Saran Jones, who, as you probably know, plays Ann Lister in Gentleman Jack. Here she is, queering it up again as DCI Amy Silver, where her job as a detective finds her solving a murder on a submarine patrolling British waters. Her only contact are the messages her colleague and ex-lover, DS Kirsten Longacre, is sending her as she investigates on land. Kirsten uses their history as a way to send cryptic messages, and throughout the series we begin to unravel not just the mystery, but Amy's past. The first few episodes are lighter on her affair with Kirsten, but this relationship only grows in importance as the series moves along. Totally binge-worthy. Another show I binged embarrassingly fast was The Married Woman, based off the book by the same name. Set in the 1990s, Asta, a teacher and mother of two, is straining at the confines of her roles. When the man she was crushing on dies, she meets his wife, Peplika, and there is an immediate spark, and a love affair follows. This naturally causes tension at home as she tries to juggle her responsibilities and the need to explore who she is. I do have a beef with how the ending of the first season went, even if it did largely mirror the book, but with the promise of another season, I am hopeful that the ending is just another plot point in their story. For a completely different kind of show, Legends of Tomorrow is the kind of irreverent, hilarious fun that tickles my funny bone. An unlikely group of misfits live in the Wave Rider, a time-travelling ship, fixing history from all sorts of unlikely anachronisms. It's a show that doesn't take itself too seriously, whether it's saving the day with the giant teddy bear Bebo fighting a demon or impregnating the manliest of men with alien babies in his head. The show has no qualms going all out with the most insane concepts. In addition to that, Sarah Lance, the captain of the ship, is bisexual, and she gets herself a serious love interest in the shape of Ava Sharp, who is an agent at the Time Bureau. They dislike each other immediately, but like a good fanfic, that doesn't last. It's clear that their relationship is not frivolous, and in fact becomes the most enduring and important romantic relationships on the series. It is soft and badass, all at the same time. Which is a very different kind of vibe from I Care A Lot, a movie that follows Marla, who defrauds old people by putting them in old folks' home and then selling off their assets. Yep, she is quite the despicable anti-hero, but once I got past my initial distaste, I found myself rooting for her and her girlfriend. Spoiler here, so skipped to the timestamp if you don't want to know, but what I didn't like was the ending, because honestly, why did she need to die? Seriously, pointless, as it added nothing to the narrative apart from punishing a woman for daring to be as ruthless as many fictional dudes. Despite that, I enjoyed this movie quite a lot. Louis Malia is another fun show due to its gutsy, self-referential and creative framing of episodes. I was tickled pink at the episode where the writers of the show wrote about themselves writing the show, at the one with the lovemaking scene where they acknowledge gay censorship, and our ladies getting to see their 1970s selves. With season 4 upping the episode to a more traditional 30 minutes, we've seen an evening out of the narrative without losing the comedic aspects I enjoyed. Not of the last year, Boys on the Side was a movie I'd long avoided because I had heard that one of the ladies dies, but I finally did watch it, and it's a great film, where 3 different women all come together to form a strong bond. Robin, played by Whoopi Goldberg, is a lesbian that falls for the straight girl Jane. Have we not all been there? And in spite of this being a film with big names rather than an indie film, as most lesbian films were at the time, Robin was quite simply out without much fuss, which was kind of a big deal for back then. Another film that came out earlier than this year is Heartland, which follows the story of Lauren, who following the death of her partner goes to stay with her conservative mother in Oklahoma. Broke and aimless, she is drawn to her brother's fiancé, Carrie, as she attempts to grieve her loss, which unsurprisingly makes things complicated within the family. It's a simple story, but well told with lovely chemistry between the ladies. As an avid watcher of Woman Love Woman content, I have watched many pairings in spite of not necessarily enjoying the actual show it comes with, but in this case, I can say that I enjoyed the show miles more than I enjoyed the actual woman love woman pairing. This sort of female Lord of the Flies scenario sees a group of young women stranded on a desert island. As they struggle to survive, it becomes apparent that things are not as they seem. In amongst that, it turns out that Shelby, the cheerleading Southern belle, is not as straight as she seems either, and perhaps her homophobia towards Tony, who is out, is motivated by something other than hate. I felt like the pairing needed more development for me to buy into their story. More interesting to me is to see what the show will do next after a strong first season. Arcane, the animated steampunk series based on the game of the same name, is set in the League of Legends universe. This exquisitely conceived series looks at the origin stories for characters of the upper city of Piltover and the undercity of Zorn, which the protagonist sisters Vi and Jinx come from. Partway through the series, Vi meets Caitlin of the upper city of Piltover, and a clearly gay-coded attraction evolves. While no declaration has been made in this first season, it looks promising that it is headed in that direction, but regardless, their relationship is not platonic, and I believe it has been confirmed by the show itself. The final video on this list is The Wheel of Time, a high fantasy book series adaptation. While the book version of the lead character, Moraine Damodred, a powerful Aes Sedai trained in the art of wielding the One Power, is not canonically queer, the TV version had no such qualms and made explicit what is only hinted at in the books, namely that she is in love with Swan Sanche, the leader of the Aes Sedai. They look to be star-crossed lovers because they are on a quest to, essentially, save the world, and their all-too-brief reunion quickly gives way to the needs of this quest. Not, however, before they gave us some gorgeous scenes between the two. I did a video on the show following the queer revelation that was episode 6, so go check that out if you would like to know more. What do you think of my list? Comment below. Feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Until next time, lady lovers.